Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. My name is William. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Today we're doing an FSEconomy flight in the Cessna 208 Grand Caravan. We'll be departing from San Ignacio de Velasco for a short flight to Conception across Bolivia here. Weather looks like it'll be pretty decent. Interesting airfields. I haven't flown into Conception at all. Did check out a little bit around our departure point. Both dirt airstrips as well, so the kind of flying I really like to do in the 208. I do hope you all enjoy. If you do, make sure to give the video a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more content. As always, let's jump into it. Welcome on board the Cessna 208, everybody. We're on the ramp here at San Ignacio de Velasco, Sierra Lima, Sierra India. Just take a look around outside real quick. You can see all the way down there, dirt strip parked in front of the hangar over here. Going inside the hangar there for a minute. And then on over to the town. Just a short little tiny airfield, decently sized dirt strip, small little ramp here. We'll be using runway 18, which is right down there, to depart on out and head off to the west to Conception. I'm going to go ahead and get back in the plane, start it up, get ready for taxi, and then we'll be back to start the flight in FSEconomy and get this thing underway. Okay, the aircraft is started up. I think we're pretty much ready to taxi, so let's go ahead and start our flight in FSEconomy here. Just go actions, start flight in the client. Make sure the airplane's rented, all that good stuff. We got our passengers and cargo on board. So we'll hide the client now. Let's just double check the fuel in the aircraft, 712 pounds in the left and right tank. More than enough for us for our flight today. I'd see just 63 nautical miles. Not a very long flight at all. We got our transponder on standby. Let's see. All this other, we'll just go taxi light. I've got 6,500 feet set in the altitude. That's what we're going to be cruising at on the way over. Anything over 3,500 feet should keep us well clear of terrain. We could cruise over at 3,500 and maintain safe clearance over the terrain, but we're going to go up a little bit higher since we can, a little bit more efficient anyways. 1,000 foot per minute set in the vertical speed as well. Since this is a dirt strip, I think we're going to not really going to set a rotation speed like I might otherwise. Instead, we're going to set our power, start rolling down the runway, and then we are going to just hold some back pressure on the yoke, so just kind of pull back and hold it until the nose wheel comes up off the ground, and then just kind of hold that attitude until the plane kind of jumps into the air. We'll be climbing up to about 100 feet above the ground before we kind of push the nose down to continue our acceleration. Above 80 knots with a positive rate of climb, we're going to pull our flaps in and continue our climb on out right around 100 knots or so on up to 6,500. That's our plan anyways. So we're going to hold short here on this little dirt path and go through and make sure we got everything else set up. So we'll just hold in position here. We'll go ahead and get our lights on, landing lights on as well. We'll put the transponder into altitude mode. Let's see, all of this is set. We want our flaps to go down into takeoff. Other than that, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'm going to sync the heading to runway heading once we line up on it. And then arm the heading mode as well. So we'll be set up just to depart runway heading, continue climbing on out until we come back onto nav mode for our en route. See, so we'll line up here. That is good enough. We'll go ahead and crank that over just one. So 183. Like I said, not really setting a rotation speed. I would expect it to be somewhere between 60 to 70 knots. We've got our flaps down, lights are all on, everything looks like it's good to go. So we're going to put the power in, hold our brakes. Once the power comes up, we're going to release brakes so we can start our roll. Okay, power set. We're watching the airspeed. We've got a little bit of back pressure, but just a small amount. Airspeed's alive. There's the nose wheel. So now we're just holding this. Just keeping it nice and center line with the rudder. It's 55, 60, 65, and we are up. So let's go ahead and pitch 10 degrees. Let's get 50 feet. Pretty quickly here, so we're clear of those trees at the end. There's 100. We'll pitch down so we can get some airspeed. We have a positive rate 80 knots. Accelerating. So flaps are up since they are so draggy on this airplane. We'll pitch back for 10 degrees nose up. And we're going to pull the power back just a little bit since the ITT goes pretty crazy.
Charlie, continue for west departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
And we will go ahead and switch off of that. Switched over to a flight level change mode. And we're going to start our right turn 500 feet above the ground. We're going to start our right turn heading kind of on course. So about 30-degree bank, a little bit of right rudder, keep it coordinated. The nose come down just a little bit so we can continue to accelerate. We are going to overshoot that arrow by just a little bit. Roll out on about 310. Alright, now we get back into our climb. Got a little lazy there on the airspeed. So still just hand flying it. We're going to go ahead and come back over and arm the nav mode. So the flight director is going to be telling me to make a right turn pretty hard to capture the course. We can't just continue this direction. More on course than not. And we'll be just fine. So we're kind of out of the area and climbing. We're going to go ahead and turn the recog lights off. I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to sync the heading up to 310. And I'm going to arm heading mode. At 4500, I'll go ahead and switch on over and let the autopilot take over. But we're up through 3600 for 6500. Holding right on about 100 knots. 310 on the heading. Working our way over to capture our course. Just about 60 nautical miles now. Should be a nice short flight. We'll see what the... I'm interested to see what the airfield is like at Conception. It's a pretty good sized dirt strip, about 5,000 feet or so. Pitch up just a little bit more, give myself some trim, that way I'm not fighting it so much. And we're through 4500, so we're going to let the autopilot take over. it gets itself sorted here. Go ahead and go landing lights off. Just kind of taking a look around. There's a decent number of clouds about, but I think we'll be okay. Just about 1,000 feet left to go in the climb. We'll really start to pick up some airspeed and drop our en route time quite substantially. All right, about 500 feet to go. See, I want to turn this up a little bit more. For some reason, the lighting is just making this all really dull on the panel. And we're going to go ahead and activate that nav mode since we're really close to captured. Going to swing us to the right just a little bit and then probably back to the left. And we are capturing 6,500 feet. I'm going to keep the power in just for the moment, pick up some airspeed, see what we can get it up to on the ground. Looks like we got a little bit of a headwind, so I would anticipate somewhere in around the 170 mark, 180 if we're really lucky. But that's already dropped us down about 20 minutes en route. Conception's runway is 1735. If the wind is still maintaining kind of out of the north-northwest, we're going to plan for runway 35. So since we're already kind of planning ahead here, let's go ahead and set the heading bug to 350. That's runway heading for the runway we're going to be shooting for. Field elevation is also just above 1,600 feet. So for our initial descent in, we're going to go down to 2,700 feet, so we're 1,000 feet above the ground. And let's see, let's just call that a 4,000 foot descent, just to round it off a little bit. 4,000 foot descent, 1,000 feet a minute. It's going to take 4 minutes, but I want to be out ahead of that, so we're probably going to wait until we're about 6 minutes from the on the ETE. That'll give us 2 minutes kind of buffer to plan out what we want to do. We'll pull the power back now to a decent cruise setting. And yeah, it's just around 173 knots. It'll probably come down just a little bit since we pulled the power back. But showing about 17.5 minutes en route. We'll take in some of the sights here and check back in whenever we are ready to start our descent, or if we've got a change of plans of some sorts on the way. Okay, we will be starting our descent here in just about 2 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up. As we talked about on the departure, we're going to plan for just about 1,000 feet above the airport elevation. So that's going to be 2,700 feet. And we're going to go down at 1,000 feet a minute. So it should take us 4 minutes to reach that point. We're currently 7 minutes from the field. We're going to start that descent and give ourselves about a 2-minute buffer. So we're going to start that descent at around 6 minutes away from the field and give us a little bit of time to get to 1,000 feet above, spot the field, and kind of plan what we want to do for an approach. We're still planning runway tree 5, so it'll probably be a little bit of a modified base to final. Just into runway tree 5 there. Other thing, real quick, before we start our way down, we'll go ahead and click the landing lights on. Everything else looks like it's good to go. We're going to shoot for around 80 knots for our approach speed today. And as always, in the 208, we know the approach flaps can go out anything below 150 knots indicated, and we could go full landing flaps at 125 knots or below. So keeping that in mind, we're just about coming up on 6 minutes now. So in just a moment, we'll click on the vertical speed and select down to 1,000 feet per minute. After I start the descent, I'll go ahead and pull the power back just a little bit. We're going to try and hold about 160, maybe just a little bit faster in the descent. So we'll go ahead and start it now. On down to 1,000 feet a minute. And preemptively just pulling it back a little bit. There's 160. So let's pull it back so that we kind of just maintain right around this speed on the way down. And flying over a lot of jungle is what it looks like. And we're going to be going back through the clouds, I guess. So we'll see what this looks like here. Hopefully it is like whenever we departed, and the clouds are going to be up off the ground enough that we'll be able to just kind of spot the field. As we poke through. They definitely don't look like it's a super thick layer of clouds or anything, so we should be okay. Just pull that power back just a touch more. Get it back on the slower side of 165. Just about 12 nautical miles from the field now. As we come through 5,000 for 2,700. And the wind definitely still out of the north. Yeah, it's coming out. It's almost more out of the west, northwest, something like that. I think we're going to be poking through the bottom of the clouds here in just a moment. And kind of start to see the ground off in front of us a little bit. That is good news. Just 1,000 feet to go for 2,700. showing 8 nautical miles now. Really not worried about the airspeed so much in this thing, just because the flaps are so much drag. Zoom that map in just a little bit more so we can kind of see there's a body of water, and the airport is on our side of that body of water, it looks like. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing out there. I haven't flown into this field at all, so we'll kind of see what it looks like hopefully here in just a minute. We still got our heading indicator there on 350 since we're planning on runway 35. 5 miles, can't really see much. There's a whole bunch of trees out in front of us. 5 miles I think would be somewhere around there, which kind of makes sense, seeing as how that's where we're seeing the water as well. Let's go ahead and bring it down to 2,500, just to make it a little bit easier for us. We're below 150, so if we need to, we can drop approach flaps and try and keep a nice tight approach in, since we're just kind of doing a modified base to final. Even if it's not mountainous or anything like that, it's beautiful scenery flying over here. Alright, 3 nautical miles. We're going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot. We're going to bring it to the right, put that 350 on the 90-degree hash there. Near close enough right there, so we'll just leave it. I think I see a clearing. That must be an airfield. That looks like a dirt strip to me. I don't know about you guys. It looks like a dirt strip. We're below 150, so we're going to go ahead and go approach flaps out. It's going to bring us down to 125, no problem. We're going to pull that power. And we are going to drop full landing flaps now. Yeah, that's definitely our runway. You guys can kind of just see it over there. And we're going to start to turn in. Nice short final for runway 35. Just overshot the center line a little bit. We'll just get ourselves lined back up. Get on the power just a little bit. Alright, coming over the top of these trees and buildings. This is pretty cool. It's kind of in this open clearing. It's about 75 knots. That'll work for me. And we'll pull the power out. We floated just a little bit. That's fine. We got plenty of runway available. Nice soft touchdown. And just kind of hold the nose up. Let it come down gently. There we go. All right. We'll go ahead and pull the flaps up. And we're going to taxi all the way down here. I think there's a little bit of a path we can shoot off to the right. We're going to do that, just kind of clear off over to the right by these homes. I think there's a hangar over here, maybe. That's kind of what that building looks like. It kind of looks like a hangar to me. We're going to pull out in front of that and log our flight in FSEconomy. So, transponder onto standby. We got our landing lights off, strobe lights off. Yes, this is definitely going to work for us right here. So we will just park it up right here. Alrighty, let's see, I'll set my parking brake. And let's get the client up first. I will set my parking brake in the sim. And that is going to log the flight. So, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy the flight, I really do appreciate it if you give the video a like. Consider subscribing if you want to see more content as always. Hopefully we'll be flying some more soon. Kind of just rolling with the punches that Flight Sim's been giving me, trying to make it work sometimes when it seems like it doesn't want to. But as always, I enjoy sharing these flights with you guys. I hope you did enjoy. Until next time, bye-bye.